All right. Today is the 19th day of November, and we are interviewing Ron Whittaker at the Adams County Courthouse. Ron, would you tell us what year you were, what your date of birth is?
4/1946.
4/1946. My name is Matt Whittaker, and I'll be your interviewer. Ron, could you state for the recording what war and branch of service you served in?
Vietnam. And would the branch be National Guard or the other one?
I normally put ARNG, Army
Okay.
National Guard,
Okay.
Illinois.
That's all.
Yeah, that'll be fine, right? Oh, what was your rank?
I came out as a Spec 4.
Okay, Spec 4. Where did you actually serve in Vietnam?
In July, all the time.
All of the time.
Mhm.
Well, that brings up what what was your MOS, or what were you doing there? Because some guys were somewhere else.
Yes.
And broken up, so
Right.
to speak. Is that
Right.
right?
Right. There's
Okay.
some of them went to Duck Bowl down there. There's what they call the Dirty Dozen.
The what?
Dirty Dozen.
Oh, is there
Well,
a
they call them the
story?
Dirty
Is
Dozen.
there a story on that?
Yeah.
They want some humor. So.
I'm sure you're going to get some from those guys. So, but no, I was
Okay.
there when I first started there.
Mhm.
I was Brian Chapman's driver,
Oh, all right.
and I was his driver for a couple months, and then I was also in the petroleum
Platoon. Okay.
and so they have a petroleum field there, and I went down there for quite a while and run forklifts, loading trucks and whatever. And then Brian needed to know if I knew how to do some work, like building or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So he put me on a project where I had to build like a lean-to. It was probably a little bit longer than this building here, and tall. And one of the things I remember about that experience is I was up above we had the joists across there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I dropped something down on the ground. So I hooked my hammer on the joist and laid my stuff down. Went down about 25 feet, went down the ladder, came back and picked it up, and that damn hammer came down on my head.
Ooh.
And put 2 holes right in my head.
Wow.
But at that time, John Slipman was driving around, and they were all down there at that time, and they all saw it.
Oh.
So Brian or Slipman took me to the hospital and got it taken care of. Boy, that hurt. So
And you probably had a lot of blood whenever
Yes.
you get an injury like
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
Boy, that was scary.
yeah, it wasn't scary, but it just hurt so damn bad.
Oh, all right. We'll settle for that.
But anyway, I spent probably about 3 months down there, or a little bit longer possibly.
At the hospital?
No, at the
In
yard
that.
down there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then what was the next
Okay.
job, so to speak?
The next thing I needed, what I had to do is Brian wanted to know if I could draw up some plans for petroleum stands to get it in the diesels. And so I drew them up and went over there and took care of getting them built. And I spent oh, probably about 2 months over there. And
Now, where would that be?
that would have been
Duck Cove?
in July.
In July.
I'm all in July.
Okay.
Okay. But it was off by itself. It was just we had a petroleum unit here to get out of and one over here. So if you wanted one fuel or the other fuel, then you can go get what you want. But anyway, what my job is to just sit in the tent all day and watch the trucks, make sure they don't have any problems or anything, or help them with their needs. And it was hotter than holy. Oh, God, it was hot in there. No place to get out of. No buildings.
Oh,
Just a tent. It was not fun.
does not sound good at all.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Well, is that pretty much
No.
your oh,
No.
okay.
When I left there,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to get on one of those helicopter landings where they land them little, I don't know what the little bitty things were, but they couldn't get off the ground. They couldn't get out to do their own fueling because the helicopter was too light.
Hmm.
So you had to go out, and every time one of them came in, you had to go out and take care of it and make sure you had fuel all the time and just do maintenance around the area there. So I was down there with Steve Bangay probably 2 months.
Mm.
So it was just a 2-month deal. Well, we're getting close to 11.
You seem to have a lot of 2-month tours here. I don't know what that means. But
I don't know. But then I also had to. There's a sand pit close to our thing, and it was probably 3/4 of a mile away. And when someone needed sand, I'd have to take one of the end loaders down and take care of them. So I did that for a while, and don't remember much after that.
Well, Brian was a good leader, and I'm sure you did a good job.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure. That's for sure. Let's see. I don't recall if I've identified myself yet,
You did.
but I'm supposed to.
You did.
So, oh, I did. Fine then. And at Duck Foe, you were down there, but other than that, you were in Chulai, right?
Chulai.
Until time was up. And you've reminded me that you were there when we all deployed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of hours, was it a 12-hour day that you normally worked, or did they have that sort of requirement? If you remember, it doesn't matter.
Mine was, I don't really remember whether it was 8, 12, or 10 or whatever.
Okay.
It was in that neighborhood.
Okay.
Just through the daytime.
Okay. Did you have time from to meet some of the people that probably worked with you that were from Vietnam? Or
We had some Vietnamese that would do our cleaning, wash, and there wasn't too many other than them around. It's kind of funny because everybody was there was some boys or guys, what do you want to call them there, and then there's some girls, and there's about 3 each one of them, I'd say. I don't know for sure. But we'd keep missing our clothes.
Okay.
And we couldn't find our clothes.
Couldn't.
We finally found them one day. We yanked the back of the toilets off, and they had them all stuffed up in there.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my Lord.
And they had, you know, we had a big petroleum can underneath there for wherever it's going to go. So it wasn't a very pleasant thing.
You were very fortunate, I guess.
Did you ever hear about the guy that blew himself up?
No. I was aware of the Williams that was killed over there, but this.
Yeah, but that ain't him, I think.
Oh, okay.
Well, there was
yeah,
another
tell me
one.
about that.
Well, you're familiar with the layout out over there.
Yeah,
in the office.
I am.
Well, me and someone else went up to play some cards with what's his name? He passed away. Bill Tuttle.
Oh, okay.
So the four of us is up there playing cards in the main office, and you know the rec area was right behind that, and we were sitting there, and this god awful boom went off, and we ran out that back door to see what the hell was going on, and there's this guy laying here about from here to here with nothing left to him. He had a grenade in his hand, and he was heading, well, there's a movie going on at that time, and he was on the north side of that. I don't know which way east and west was over there, but I call when you come out of the office, that's to the south and that's to the north. He was laying right outside of the pool table room. You know, that building.
Okay. Yeah, I've
where you
been
can drink
there.
beer and yeah. He was laying about here to that wall, away from that building. Just shot up, and the whole building was.
I don't even want to imagine what that.
Jim Pavin and I had to go out the next day and clean that sucker off. Just you couldn't clean it off, but you had to just spray it off with some kind of high pressure washer.
Was he a member of the 126?
No.
What was he? Do we know what he was, or do you ever? Who was he, or anybody?
Well, we don't. Well, they moved in a unit to the north of us there.
Okay.
No, that must be south. That would be south. Okay. They moved in a unit to the south, across the road, and we had a theater there that we built.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that.
Yeah. So they would wander over once in a while. We wouldn't think anything of it. So I assume that he went there.
Mm-hmm. And so that's how that.
Yeah. And another time I was up there at the back door.
Go ahead.
And this black guy shot his big toe off, so he wouldn't have to go on guard duty. He was from the other unit. Ours was smarter than that. They just went on guard duty.
Oh my Lord! I didn't quite know that you had such information.
Then the unit had a little bitty cart or motor scooter about this big, about this tall.
Was that from the motor pool?
Yeah.
I've seen your
Yeah.
picture of that, you and Jim Loescher.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, the question I was going to have is your contact with the culture of the area. They wanted me to ask that. Well, I take it you probably have had a lot of contacts from time to time with the Vietnamese since you
No,
were there.
really, I didn't.
You didn't?
Because it was all our men.
Okay.
You know, you're on a
Okay.
petroleum unit. It's just a big yard
Mhm.
and a building and whatever, and
Okay.
no Vietnamese there.
Well, that's one we don't have to ask you then.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing is that they've mentioned here that I'm to ask you, and it's a good one, and that is, did you have any mementos or rabbit's feet, or some people are superstitious and some aren't. Did you have anything like that as a crutch or anything like that?
No, never even give that a thought.
While you were there, did you have an opportunity to occasionally go to a bigger village? I'm leading up to, did you find anything for Rosie, for instance?
I bought her 2 dolls, 2 Vietnamese dolls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you'll see we've done this. So, did you? Well, really, you've told me of one casualty when you had that accident that could have been a lot worse than it was.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. Did you have any casualties that would be more direct? Well, it was part of your duty, so I'll have to rephrase that. Did you have any other casualty while you were there?
No.
Okay.
No.
As far as where did you sleep? Actually, I've seen a picture or two, but would you just explain where you actually went to bed at night there?
Well, in the hooches there.
Okay.
And we was about, if you took the beer hall, then I was just straight across the street from it, right next, the first hooch to it.
And
I wanted to keep it, so I can get over there.
Did you? Were you one that worked on putting that in? Like, it looks like you've got it down in the ground.
It's way down there.
Way down there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was quite a bit of work.
Yeah, there was quite a few people worked on it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Were there any other casualties that didn't have anything to do with you, but that you saw or you were told happened to you of the 126?
More casualties that I saw.
Well, like that Williams, I can only think of his last name, that died on that convoy.
Yeah, but he was separated from our unit, wasn't he?
Oh.
Or was he?
I thought
or was he put into our unit?
I think they assigned him
to our unit
for a while, for a period of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you weren't there at the time, and
no, I went down there and drove one of the trucks on one of those details they had one time.
Okay.
But
that wasn't what you normally did, drive trucks.
No. Brian Chapman and I just went down. He went off. I wanted to go down. That's when I was still driving for him.
Okay.
I must have drove for him longer than I think I did.
You what?
I said I must have drove for him longer than I think I did.
Very possibly. One day is like every other day.
Yes.
Well, except for you. Okay, let's see here. I want to, just for the record, indicate that Ron received the National Defense Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, and the Vietnam Service Medal. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And also, I wanted to bring up, you also, did you receive the equivalent of what you would receive when you're in a meritorious unit? I believe it might be a red colored ribbon. I understand that your unit was chosen as a meritorious unit, and you have a streamer on the
I got it in here.
okay.
This one.
Okay, so that is what that, yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
So that's a meritorious unit. You were a member of that unit.
Yes. Yes. This is all that's left in my uniform, by the way. This.
Yeah.
If I did bring them to him, tell me that's what's left.
You know, you've got your dog tag, so you can always go back, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm saving up for it.
On a more personal level here, well, you don't quite fit what they're dealing with here. In other words, you went over with most all of the men, except those who went by sea, right? So
Yes.
So
Yes.
you really would, would know so many people there. So
Yeah, you knew just about everybody.
did you obviously got along with your fellow soldiers and the whoever the officers were, and
There was nobody that didn't get along with everybody.
one thing I forgot to ask you is, did you have any problems like rockets at night coming in?
Yes. Yes.
And how often might that be approximately?
Once every 2 weeks or something.
Every couple of weeks?
Yeah,
You think?
I don't know how many exactly. Maybe not that many.
Well, I just wanted a guesstimate on
Yeah.
that. And let's see what the other one would be. Let's see, rockets. Let's see, did I say rockets? Yeah, rockets I asked you about. Mortars?
Mortars. These are mortars.
These are mortars. And as far as you know, you didn't want to hit with
I
rockets?
think they were mortars.
Okay.
Tom
I
could
don't-
probably tell you more about that.
Who would?
Tom Shitty.
Oh, okay.
He's next.
Yeah, he's coming up.
Yeah, he's next.
Okay. Were you able to keep in touch with Rosie most of the time?
By letters.
Could you give me an example of how you went about getting calling her on the phone?
Never did call her.
Oh, never? Okay.
No.
Writing primarily?
Yes.
For the,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
I don't, maybe some people were able to call, but I didn't know it was ever available to me.
Okay. All right. And that depends on a ham, if you had some ham operator.
Right.
You remember they had those in those days.
Which they probably had them up there
And-
in the office, but
Yeah, but you
I
just,
think they wanted to keep that for like emergencies and all that. I would have thought so anyway.
well, I would think so too. Yeah, like you say. So. Oh, as far as supplies go, can you think of a time that you were getting low on any supply that was very important to you in your work for this government? Or no. So everything was fine that way.
Yeah. It was.
And you mentioned this a little earlier. You were there when they erected their what did you call it? Your
The rec room,
rec room.
but that's a bar. That's the
Oh,
bar.
okay.
But it's had a pool table in there. So,
And you would go there from time to
Oh,
time,
yeah.
I presume?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
One of the big things with me was always the food. And
I was sitting there thinking of that.
now I want an honest appraisal. How good was it?
Not good. It
You didn't have to
It was-
answer that.
it
you
was
know.
roast beef most of the time.
Oh, was it?
And the bread had beetles in it. You couldn't eat the bread without the beetles.
Man. Yeah, so
Yeah.
so procurement was not too good.
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't tell Jerry that it wasn't too good.
Well, I'll not. What you say will not pass out of this room. I'll guarantee that. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't their fault though. They could only give us what
I
they had.
anticipated, and I put food good, so I take
Wrong.
that off. No, that's
It was a long time before I ate roast beef. Well,
Wow.
that's probably a year.
Okay. I think I'll just leave the kitchen stuff for now.
Okay.
No, okay. What about entertainment? Now, I know you and I have talked a little bit about the motor pool and that, but beside that, what did you do for fun or for recreation?
Well, I know some of the guys what they did, but I never was involved with that. Just maybe we'll go over and watch a movie, or go over and drink some beer and play some pool, and that's
Okay.
basically about all there was to do. I mean, I didn't have any interest of going around, and didn't interest me at all.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. And the other thing I don't want to forget to ask, you took your R&R, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
No. I
okay.
figured if I left, I wouldn't come back.
Okay.
Not only that, but we really didn't have the money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we were married, one child.
okay.
Our daughter was 3 months old when I had to leave. So.
Okay. Yep. That was just one that to ask, and
No, I just didn't want to face that trip back.
Yeah, probably a wise decision.
Yeah.
Stay there and do your time.
I didn't miss it.
Oh. Do you have some pictures here too? We can do.
Couldn't find them.
Huh?
Couldn't find any. I couldn't find them. I took pictures, but
Oh.
I didn't take a lot of them.
Okay.
But I do have pictures. But I don't know where they're at.
You probably won't remember this, but after we got back, I didn't know you didn't have any, but my aunt had a lot of pictures, and so I sent those to you. And when you were riding in the car in Quincy, I just sent them to you within a few days of that. So.
Really? Oh yes, I did get those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're talking about the parade.
Yeah.
Yes, I got them.
Yeah. She had a photo store. That's why it was so plentiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. Okay, now.
I think she missed one of the trucks though, did she?
Huh?
I think she missed one of the trucks though.
The
Getting the picture of the trucks.
truck.
Trucks we was riding in.
Yeah, I think didn't we? Or did we?
You only had two.
Okay,
But
Yeah,
there's a
those-
third truck.
all right. Yeah, I don't remember. You talking about the other day?
Yeah,
Oh, no, I was there for that.
that's right, you were.
Yeah. I made
Okay.
it.
What was you talking about before then?
The cars, when we had the celebration with the
Back here?
governor, a few days after we got home. That was the one. And you were in a convertible.
But
I
Jim
think.
Faven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how.
Yeah. She got pictures of that? You sent me pictures?
Yeah, one that I had one and I sent it to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What do you remember, let's say, the last couple of days before you were going to be leaving? And you did, and when did you first find out the day that you'd be flying out? Did you find out in advance, for instance, a couple days?
Yeah, we knew when we was going to fly out.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that wasn't the problem.
Is there anything that you thought of or was thinking about the day that you were flying out? Anything that you remember? That's a long time ago.
Just the day before, they
Okay.
let us go out to,
To what?
they let us go out to one of their officers' place.
Hmm.
And it was out in the country. And I got as far as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think there is a sober person that left there. And I had a hangover that wouldn't go away. So I wasn't thinking much about anything.
All right.
Oh God, it was awful.
Thank you for your candor.
Well, you know, what are you gonna do? You just as well get drunk because there's nothing gonna be good ahead of you.
Well, that's going to make it spicier.
There you go.
And then, as far as I imagine, it was a little difficult to get in that plane then that day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And can you remember the stops?
When we stopped at?
Yeah. Where we would have stopped. I really can't remember.
We stopped in Alaska, I believe, when we came back.
I remember that one.
Yeah, and then we stopped in, give me the name of an island, begins with C.
Now, Wake Island.
Wake Island.
So that I didn't know. So you.
I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you, once we hit Alaska, the phones were ringing at home.
Oh. Okay.
Everybody's running to the phone, call their wives.
Oh. Do you have any memory of the day your service in the Army ended?
Well, we were down at Fort Leonard Wood.
Fort Leonard Wood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's the last time I went in the service. I mean, they just told us to go home.
Do you remember how you came to go to Quincy right away? Did they bus you in or not? So
No. Our wives were able to come down.
Okay, and so then,
and meet with us.
okay,
And most of them hung around, and I don't know if I came back with the wives or not, because we would have had to get together for the parade.
Yeah.
So we might not have.
Yeah, I'm a little vague on that
Yeah,
myself. That's why I asked you.
Yeah. Now some of these other guys, they remember everything.
At that point, after you and you took your option to be discharged, did you not? Because your time was up anyway, wasn't
No,
it?
it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, I had a
Okay.
couple years
So-
ago.
Okay.
I know the other thing we did over there a lot is play cards.
Oh, did you?
Played cards a lot.
What, poker, bridge,
Nah,
what,
just
rummy?
rummy, anything that, didn't involve money, we don't care. But
When you returned, where did you work at the time you were called up? Let's start.
I
there.
worked for Hollister in the elevator.
Okay.
I was in the, well, this is where Brian got the idea. I knew how to do things. I worked in their engineering department for doing drafting and doing things like that.
Then, when you came back, did you go back to work for the same employer?
I did, except management had changed. The bigwig, he didn't know who I was. All he knew is he had to give me a job. So they gave me a job just basically where I had to sit and do nothing because he didn't really have a need for me. So after about 6 months, I left and went to Klingner's.
So then you started with Klingner's, which
Yeah.
is what I can recall
Yeah.
when you were there.
Quit there 40 years to the day.
Oh, wow. Now, did you take advantage of either the GI Bill or night classes or anything like that?
Mhm.
Okay. As far as friendships that you had, it's compared to now I think I'll approach it a different way. Just were there any particular friendships that you got to know someone a lot better than you did before, or
Everybody in your hooch, of course.
that's kind of the
Yeah.
answer, isn't it?
And and there's, you got to understand, the hooches were in 2 rows,
Mhm.
and everybody walked between the hooches. So you got to know everybody.
Okay, so they're all friends, right?
Yes,
Okay.
sure. I mean, you go over there as a unit, and our unit was such that if anybody would have needed anything or anything was going on, everybody would take care of everybody else. That's just the way it was going to be. And our unit also had to the word got out that our unit could do anything.
Mhm.
So consequently, they needed air conditioning fixed or whatever fixed. They needed a bulldozer. I remember we traded them, the Navy, a bulldozer for a case of steaks.
Say that again.
We traded the Navy a bulldozer for a case of steaks.
Okay.
Chase turned me on that one. I didn't know that.
Holy mackerel.
We was always getting steaks from. We'd trade them something. Maybe take them beer or something. We'd get to.
Well, and then they took care of you, right?
Yeah, and that's when we ate good.
Oh,
We had steaks. We tried to have them once a week, but I don't know whether it didn't work out that great. And they were nice.
Oh, and of course, you're one of the members of the 126th, and you attend functions that they have, like the rest of us do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any other organizations of the military, you know, like VFW or American Legion that you've joined? Or
I'm a member
that
of Knights of Columbus, that's it.
the what?
Knights of Columbus.
Oh, Knights of Columbus.
Yes.
Sorry. How have, as far as you know, how have your service overseas and anything you had at, well, in before then at Fort, let's see, Fort Carson, right, got me. Anyway, how has that affected you that you can think?
What was the question again? You took too long to answer.
Okay.
Ask me.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I think I've got off on a tangent on that one, so I think that's probably lost somewhere up here. So, How has your time in the service affected your life, let's say? That's kind of a broad question.
Okay.
Good, bad, or indifferent?
The time in the service affected my life when I first got back. I had a hard time adjusting. You know, things would irritate me quick, and consequently, it caused some problems in the family. But I eventually got over it, thanks to the wife that she stuck with me. So I would say that's where it mostly affected me.
Okay.
And I don't know why, certain things just got to me. You know?
Well, it's not like you do that every day.
No, that's good though.
This one might be a little difficult, and by the way, you don't have to answer anything.
Yeah.
There may be one or two here that you say, I know I did when I did it. I just said, I can't really I'm not going to do that. So they said, fine. So I'd say the same thing to you. On the other hand, I don't think these are too bad. And this one is probably difficult. Would you, knowing what you do today, encourage a young man or woman to enlist in the military?
No. But it's because the way the military is run.
Okay.
So
that's okay.
I mean,
you can expand on that if you want. That's for sure.
I would eat up my hour too quick.
You what?
I'd eat up my hour too.
Oh, all right. Well, we wouldn't want that to happen, would we, Ron?
I
What?
do have a son-in-law that took 5 tours.
Oh, my.
He was not married at the time. The last tour though, when he went to Iraq, he said that when he was over there 3 months, and it was just time for getting out.
Mm.
He said that 3 months was worse than any of the rest of the tours. Not right.
Mm. What is the most positive thing you can think of as far as the service or your experiences in the service? The most positive thing that you liked? You don't have to answer, or, you know, if you want to, fine. If you don't, that's fine too.
The most positive thing is that we stayed as a unit.
That's okay.
That is a positive thing. If a fellow went over there by himself, not knowing anybody, he would have a hard time, extremely hard time.
Just adapting, right?
Adapting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything that you had in mind that you wanted to either make, you know, a point on or suggest something? Is there anything you might have forgotten that you want to take a couple minutes and think for a couple minutes? We can sure do that.
Well, I've been thinking all along that different things I could talk about, but
Mm-hmm.
I think you pretty much hit most of them.
Okay. You had a number of brothers in the 126, did you not, with whom you served?
Yes, we did.
And would you elaborate just a little bit about that situation?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was one of the sets of brothers. So there was approximately 10 sets of brothers. One set was 3 brothers, and the rest of them, of course, 2. And I think one of the brothers transferred out and went to some other place in Vietnam. That was a Doman, I believe. I'm not sure.
I think Korea.
Yes.
I think he went over to Korea.
Right.
And I don't know the circumstance.
You had the option of not going.
Okay.
They called us into the office. Brothers, sets of brothers at a time, and told us that one of us didn't have to go. We could go to Hawaii or whatever, just someplace else besides in a war zone. But nobody selected to do that except the one set of brothers. And everybody stuck around.
Okay.
So that was something pretty unusual about our unit.
And I don't think we've hit one thing, though, that was very important. It's implied that you guys all had some sort of skill.
Yes.
Or you weren't there.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement? Like,
yeah. But everybody had a skill of something.
Yeah. And like it would be, there was one that did refrigeration.
Yes.
And
right.
There's just they all had.
Everybody knew something.
Yeah.
If somebody needed something done anywhere on the base, we would have had somebody that knew how to do it, which is a pretty outstanding thing for a unit. And everybody, we was real well respected over there. Yeah.
Well, that's probably why you got that award.
I don't know about that,
but well, I don't think they gave them out too quick.
Really?
That's what I had always heard. That's why I was so proud of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you can think of that we may have missed?
Not to my knowledge.
Thank you very much for coming and sharing the information.